Liz Shuler is the president of the AFL-CIO, and she has always believed in Texas. And her leadership among the entire nation is something that I think we can all aspire to and be inspired by. You know, she took over the AFL-CIO under some really difficult circumstances. Many of you remember when Rich Trumka passed. And not only did she step into the breach with dignity and courage, but she has transformed our movement through her leadership and her vision about where we need to be as a movement. She believes that the labor movement is a powerful vehicle for progress and that unions are a central force in leading that transformation. And she's told me some things that have shaped the way I look at things. And one of the things that she told us early on in her leadership was that if we're not failing, we're not trying hard enough. If we're not living on the edge, then we're wasting space. That the way things are is not the way things have to be. And that we have to be bold, and we have to take risks, and we have to do really hard work to move our movement the way it needs to be. And for me, having a leader that's willing to put her money where her mouth is in that respect, to where her leadership reflects the core principles that she talks about, and the way she lifts up unions and union members and our stories across the country as she travels zigzags all across the country, just spreading the message. And brothers and sisters, I hope that you already recognize how lucky we are to have Liz Shuler as the president of the National AFL-CIO. But I know that after you hear her talk, you'll agree with me. I'm so excited that she's here. I'm so grateful that she's here. And I want you all to let her know how you feel about Liz Shuler, the next speaker and the president of the National AFL-CIO.
You look beautiful. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Texas Union family. I am so happy to see you. I am so happy to be here with you and to be right here in San Antonio. Or do I say San Antone? I don't know. Is that okay? But thank you so much. And I want to thank Rick Levy, the incredible Rick Levy, for his leadership. Yes, go ahead and clap for that. What he and Leonard have built here together, it's an incredible team, number one. I keep talking to people and they're like, wow, the Texas AFL-CIO is really firing on all cylinders, and the Texas AFL-CIO is really doing innovative work and, you know, pushing the boundaries. And so I keep hearing from all of you. And to me, that's the greatest compliment of a leader, is he doesn't need to tell me himself how great they're doing. It's from all of you. So that means a lot. And I just want to thank you, Rick, for, as you were saying my introduction, I was thinking the same thing about you, being innovative, being bold, being willing to try things that might be a little uncomfortable. And you and your partner, Leonard, really have moved this labor movement in a place where we can all be proud. So, and that's also due to all of you. So thank you so much for that. And this convention, I think there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, right? A lot of thankless work to make this happen. So let's give it up for the staff of the Texas AFL-CIO, the hotel staff of Unite Here. And being here in the San Antonio CLC's jurisdiction, I'm always very conscious of the local work that's happening here in the city. And then also the last time I was here in Texas, I think I was in Austin. Anyone from Austin here? I love it. I know Joe Cooper's here. I saw him earlier, but I was given literal state secrets on the best barbecue places in Austin last time I was here. So if you want to do something similar for my trip to San Antonio, I'm ready. I'm ready. But I'm so grateful to be with all of you. First of all, thank you for taking me outside of Washington, D.C. Can I just say thank you for that? the daily chaos of Washington, D.C. I just love being together. I love finding community with all of you. I love seeing a lot of old friends, and I just want to give a special shout out and a point of personal privilege. I know Linda Chavez Thompson is here, Becky Moeller, who broke down glass ceilings, and as a woman leader, I am so grateful for her leadership and path-breaking leadership. And then most of all, I want to say a special thank you to Rick Deagle, I think is in the room, who many of you may know Rick from our IBEW days. We go way back. I literally would not be standing here if it were not for Rick Deagle. So anytime I'm in Texas and I come and see Rick, it is the absolute joy for me. I owe you so much, Rick. So thank you for all that you've contributed to the labor movement over these many years. Okay, how many of you do what I do every morning when you wake up? You look at your phone and you start scrolling. I don't know, I'm not proud of it, but I don't know about you, but I'm looking at social media most mornings to see what kind of insanity that we are in for the day. But what really brings us back to earth and snaps us out of that doom scrolling is the stories that we're sharing here, right? All these workers that we've been hearing from at this convention, the momentum that is building around us. Are you feeling it? The tide is shifting. Yeah. We're seeing all kinds of actions happening. And as I was coming down here to Texas, getting ready for my flight, one of the best things that I have seen on Facebook in a long time was the highlight reel from the Fighting Oligarchy tour, where we had in Amarillo and McAllen, Rick Levy, and Leonard Aguilar, of course, speaking, which was, yeah, you can clap for that. Fantastic speeches. But what really brought down the house was the incredible story that our steelworker rep, Jose Loya, told. And someone's from the steelworkers maybe, but he spoke and he talked about coming here to Texas as an undocumented immigrant, joining the Marines after 9/11, deploying twice to Iraq, and then coming home, searching for work, trying to find a good career before he found a home in our movement. And going from a guard in his local to vice president and now District 13 staff representative of the steelworkers. That is how this labor movement changes lives. And he said something that stuck with me. He said, growing up, I believed in the ideals of this country, even when those ideals didn't apply to me. I believed in the ideals of this country, even when those ideals didn't apply to me. And this country is not living up to those ideals right now. And I think everyone can agree that it is not living up to the values that we all hold dear, that we believe every person deserves freedom, fairness, and security, right? But the answer, and you know this in this room, the answer isn't to give up or say, oh, well, there's nothing else we can do, right? The answer is to fight. The answer is to fight the same way Brother Jose Loya did, the same way the labor movement has always done right here in Texas. And that is together. That is fighting in solidarity together until those ideals really do apply to every single one of us. Yes. And Texas is full of the hardest working people in this country. I heard someone say that once, Leonard, right? But don't tell the folks in Illinois, because I just came back from Chicago and I said the same thing. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's true. It's true. I see teachers who work way past the last bell, managing bilingual classes, getting students back on track, even years after the pandemic. I see construction workers out there in sweltering heat, building our cities and our homes and installing the infrastructure that our communities depend on. I see farm workers who feed our communities, who get up every day in 120 degrees, in thunderstorms, in snow every once in a while, up in the panhandle. who go to work because they know that we all are relying on them. And it doesn't matter whether you're a VA nurse here in San Antonio, or working on a ranch in Kingsville, or an electrician down in El Paso. There's one thing that unites us all, and that is the dignity of work. And that all work has dignity, and that we all deserve freedom, fairness, and security. But that is not what we're seeing right now. Certainly not what we're seeing right now in Texas. Do we call it freedom when Greg Abbott and his friends attack our rights, pass laws that say construction workers can't have water when they need it? Take our hard-earned tax dollars and use them as vouchers for private schools? Do we call it fairness when Elon Musk comes down here and takes over communities for his vanity projects? Do we call it fairness when he gets handed another tax break worth billions of dollars while 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? That ain't right. Do we call it security when Donald Trump's ICE is raiding our schools and our workplaces, rounding up our brothers and sisters who are working hard, paying their taxes and contributing to their communities? It's not security. Every ICE raid, every attack on our federal workers, every time they try to tell us what books belong in our libraries, they're trying to divide us, aren't they? They're hoping that we divide ourselves by race, by gender, by immigration status, by identity, orientation, religion, instead of coming together around what we all have in common as working people. They're trying to distract us and divide us. That is how they win. That is how they win. But I'm telling you, every conversation I have, and I'm sure you feel this way too, when you're talking with workers and your communities, people with every kind of job and every kind of background, what I hear could not be more opposite. What I hear is that we are more united on the things that matter to us than ever before. I have not met one person who says, yes, it makes sense for a CEO to make 268 times the average worker, especially when half our country lives paycheck to paycheck. Have not met one person. I haven't met one person who says, yes, let's round up peaceful, hardworking, tax-paying members of our community who do the critical jobs that our economy relies on. Haven't met one person who says, yes, oh yes, it makes sense to cut Medicaid and Social Security so that the richest people on this planet can keep sending themselves to outer space. These are the common sense things that we all agree on, right? It doesn't make any sense. But what they don't know is that they're actually becoming the best organizers for us, right? Because every time they do something divisive, every time they try to separate us and tear us apart, they are actually putting another log on the fire of the fire that we are building, the fight back fire, right? And I see workers all across the state of Texas waking up to the idea that there is something better out there. We saw it. We've seen these protests happening, right? All over the country these last few months. People are waking up to the idea that our fight is not Republican versus Democrat. It's workers versus billionaires. And I see workers waking up to the difference a union can make in their lives. Are you feeling this too? We've talked about it. Unions, we are more popular than ice cream right now. It's hard to do, by the way. Over 70% of the public supports unions. And even more surprisingly, 90% of young people under the age of 30 support unions. When has that ever happened? And I think it's because people are now looking to the labor movement. They see us out there fighting. And we are the ones that are going to be charting the course for the future of this country. Because certainly the Democratic Party ain't going to save us. The Republican Party ain't going to save us. We are going to save ourselves. That's right. So I want to talk about how we do that. How do we do that? What is the way forward? Everyone's asking themselves, right? Well, one of the ways is we go big. You know how to do that here in Texas, right? We go big on doing the things that this movement has never done before. And that's pushing ourselves, sometimes pushing ourselves into uncomfortable places and doing the hard work that often is behind the scenes and maybe not out in front, like you've been doing with your Modernizing the Movement resolution. I was going to say 2 years ago, you passed that, right? And what has happened is you've been able to work over these last 2 years to help the Texas labor movement reach its full potential. And it's not sexy, it's not easy, but it is so necessary to position us for the work that we have to do ahead. And tomorrow we are going to see a major, major step in that vision when we bring North Texas together and harness our full power. That's right. And I want to give a big shout out to all our leaders in North Texas, because this work has been difficult, and across the state who really made this milestone happen, and certainly to the leadership of Rick and Leonard and the team, because this is really hard work. So that's one way we're going to build ourselves forward, right? But how else do we win? You've been talking about it the whole conference. Organize, 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 organize everywhere. In this moment where so many people are looking at Trump and these attacks, and they're saying, yes, I want to be a part of a union. All these young people who want to join us, the popularity off the charts. We need to go into places that we have never gone to before and organize like we never have before, like the dancers did at the Texas Ballet Theater by joining AGMA, and just won the first dance company union in North Texas in 40 years. Amazing. You can clap for that. And we save ourselves by fighting for every single contract, the way our meatpacking workers in the Panhandle did at UFCW. Where's the UFCW? That's right. Making retirement, defined benefit retirement, and paid sick leave an industry standard for 26,000 working families. And of course, our CWA family at AT&T District 6, thank you for leading the way. That's how we fight forward. We're focusing on organizing, we're focusing on bargaining, and we stand up to this mass deportation agenda. Because immigrant rights are worker rights, are human rights. That's right. And it's up to us and only us to force the most polarized Congress in a generation to find common ground. And we're doing that right now. Anybody heard of the Protect America's Workforce Act? It's a trick question. It's the bill in Congress that's going to restore collective bargaining for all those federal workers who had their bargaining rights taken away with the stroke of a pen. Are you on board? And guess what? The Protect America's Workforce Act is a bipartisan piece of legislation. Yes, you heard me right. We actually have 7 Republicans who have signed on to this bill. And once we get that bill passed, every federal worker right here in Texas and all across the country will have their right to collectively bargain restored. The way it should be. And it's up to us to keep reaching out to young workers. Young workers, y'all. I think you call it y'all down here, right? Everywhere I go, I end up talking to young workers, and they tell me again and again, whatever the issue, whether it's Trump, the Middle East, immigration, DEI, those debates in their head are shaped literally in the comments section on social media. If you're on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook, you name it. They are looking at the arguments on both sides of an issue in the comments. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Now there's some older people out there going, what the hell is she talking about? So if you see something posted and you read it, sometimes you don't scroll down. Young people very much are actively shaping a debate by scrolling down and weighing in. And, certainly, we can have our opinions about that, and in this era of misinformation and disinformation, if you're looking for facts, we often would say that's not where you're going to find the facts, right? In the comments section, but that is what is influencing the argument. And so that is where we have to be. We have to be meeting people where they are, right? Where those debates are happening, helping them see what the union difference is in this moment. So, but most of all, it's up to us to take our message to the people. And we've been talking about this a lot because as much as we're speaking for our members, right? We've got 15 million union members under the AFL-CIO umbrella. That's amazing. That's a lot of people. And 63 unions. We're very proud of that. But we're also speaking for every worker in this country. We're fighting for everyone, aren't we? So this summer, we're going to go on tour. Like a concert tour, you see these buses driving around the country, get some t-shirts. We're going to go on our own tour, and we're calling it, It's Better in a Union. It's better in a union. Fighting for freedom, fairness, and security. And we're going to cross this country. We're going to, try to reach the communities where maybe there's some rural areas where they don't see a lot of unions. Maybe it's purple districts where we're trying to reach people that we haven't reached before. And we're going to reach every community, every work site, every household, no matter how you voted, whether you voted. And we're going to talk to them. And you notice I've been using these 3 words a lot: freedom, fairness, and security. We want to ask what those words mean to people at the community level, right? We want to get out there and we want to bring those words to life and show a positive, forward-looking vision that they can be a part of, and that's the labor movement. Because we are in a fight that is as old as time, folks, and that's organized money against organized people. And there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money that these companies, these executives, these corporate politicians throw around here, especially in Texas. Am I right? And it's because they could not be more afraid of what we are building right now. Because they know if we can change Texas, we can change this entire country. Yeah. And brothers and sisters, we damn sure are going to change Texas, aren't we? We're going to organize Texas, as big as Texas. People beats money every damn time. And I'll tell you, I know it, you know it, because nearly 50 years ago, you may remember this, 45 workers with the Texas Farm Workers Union left Austin to walk 20 miles a day, all through the South, staying in public parks and church halls and connecting with workers of every job and every background along the way until they reached the White House in Washington, D.C. Now, they didn't get a meeting they wanted with the President of the United States, but what they did was wake up an entire nation. They helped workers all over the South see how much we had in common. We're all in that same struggle for freedom, for fairness, and security. So I want to ask you all to do something with me. We're going to get a little active here. If you can stand up if you believe freedom means being able to organize and bargain collectively and have better pay and better hours on the job. Better health care. And if you're not already standing, stand up if you believe fairness means that billions of dollars of your hard work that you create should be shared with the people who do the work. That's what fairness is. And now that you're all standing, I believe that you believe security means safe workplaces, safe communities, and a good retirement. So everybody's standing because freedom, fairness, and security means that we are all together. We are united. We are going to stand united. We're going to keep fighting together. Thank you so much, Texas, for your incredible dedication to this movement. And let's stay united, because when we fight, that's what I thought. Thank you.